Hello team, welcome to MyCom 250 Communication in the Workplace Module 5 Decision Making presentation, where I will discuss an introduction to a decision maker, a summary of how I am described in personality assessments, how I agree and or disagree with said assessments, summarize how my personality assessment can influence one decision making model or process we've discovered in Chapter 9, highlight potential barriers to effective decision making with a colleague who has different personality and characteristics, and a closing thought. Now let's get into me. As previously discussed in our leadership presentation, my name is Joshua Reece. I'm a proud father of two teenagers, diehard Razorback football fan, defense consultant by day, student by night, and still self-proclaimed world traveler. I spent nearly 25 years in the United States Army, and the latter 22 years of that time working in leadership, planning, and managing teams. When I recently took the 16 personalities test, I landed as an ENTJA, or the commander type. So let's take a look at how that personality aligns with my communication and decision-making style, both personally and professionally, and explore links to this course in leadership, collaboration, and emotional intelligence. The ENTJA profile paints a picture of a driven, strategic leader, and honestly, sums me up to the T. I'm 75% extroverted, 81% intuitive, and 78% thinking. These are traits that show up in how I lead teams, plan exercises in my professional job, and approach communication, not just professionally, but also personally. I'm very much about providing clear direction, with room for a lot of logic. But as the profile notes, ENTJs can be impatient and overly critical. That's something I've attempted to work on over time, especially balancing the roles at home as a father and working mentoring teams. According to Hackman and Johnson, 2018, effective leadership today isn't just about commanding, it's about communicating with flexibility and adapting to the team's needs. That insight has been key in my personal development and aligns with the real-world challenges of leadership beyond theory. Exploring that has me looking at how I agree and disagree a little bit with the ENTJA commander profile. So let's get into that. I mostly agree with the ENTJA assessment, especially the focus on strategy, drive, and high standards. I thrive in an organization that is very well organized, goal-driven, and has an environment conducive to results-driven environments. But I'll admit, my extravision is more situational now. After years in demanding roles, I've shifted towards more introspection and emotional awareness. The profile also downplays emotional connection, which doesn't sit right really with me. Through raising teens and leading in the Army, I've learned that emotional intellect isn't just a nice to have, but it is definitely essential. Here in Com 250, we've seen how it has been emphasized that effective communication includes empathy, listening, and adapting, all skills that I've grown into and now prioritize alongside structure and efficiency. So what does all this do when an ENTJ commander has to make a decision? Let's explore that. In Chapter 9, we looked at the different models of decision making. The rational decision making model is where I think I live. It's methodical, allows us to define a problem, evaluate options, and then act. That resonates deeply with both my ENTJ traits and acquired leadership style as a service member. ENTJs are described as results-oriented and decisive, which fits how I operate professionally, whether I'm coordinating Army-to-Army training or helping my kids navigate big life choices. I prefer to follow a logical, analytical flow. This model reinforces everything I think I've practiced, and now it gives me a theoretical lens to explain why I lead the way I lead. But even though it works for me, what help or conflict can this personality type bring to a working team member that maybe not has the same personality type as me? Let's take a look at that. Being an ENTJ has its strengths, but working with opposite personality types can create friction as well. People who are more emotionally driven or prefer flexible decision making may find my directness overwhelming. For instance, INFPs or ISFPs might interpret structure as a rigid environment or see clarity as criticism. That's where the lessons from Bissell and Kramer, 2021, help to balance logic and compassion, something I can continue to develop. I've learned that how we say something can matter just as much as what we say, sometimes if not more. So how do we sum all this up? I believe being an ENTJ has helped me succeed in high-stakes, structured environments, but growth happens when we stretch beyond our defaults. Over time, I've evolved to value emotional intelligence and collaborative input just as much as strategic planning. Pairing the rational decision-making model with empathy has made me a better leader, communicator, and definitely a better father. What I've learned in COM 250 reinforces this. Understanding your personality and communication style isn't just introspective, it's foundational to leading effectively in diverse environments. In the end, it's not just about knowing the mission, it's about knowing yourself and your team. So thank you. I trust that this has been both informative and reflective for you, and look forward to your comments, questions, and discussions on decision making in organizations. Have a great day.